Imagine, just for a second, carrying around a heavy, suffocating physical weight every single day for 2 decades. And the craziest part? Absolutely no one noticed. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're diving deep into a deeply unsettling psychological phenomenon. We're going to unpack the terrifying story of a man who masterfully faked being happy for 20 whole years. We'll look at exactly why he did it, the devastating toll it took on his mind, and the dark psychological reality that might actually mirror the lives of people you interact with every single day.
Everyone thought he was happy. On the surface, he was the life of the party. You know the type, the totally reliable friend, the upbeat coworker with this flawless masterpiece of relentless positivity. But okay, let's dive into this, because the reality is deeply disturbing. Every single ounce of that positivity was a carefully constructed, agonizingly maintained lie.
The sheer scale of the disconnect here is just staggering. I mean, outwardly, he's smiling constantly, laughing louder than anyone else, just radiating energy. But hidden just beneath all that is this crushing reality of constant pretending, absolute emptiness, and literally 20 years of internal silence. He played the character so flawlessly in the spotlight, but when the crowd finally faded away, the man left behind was basically a stranger, even to himself.
So how in the world does someone actually pull off a 20-year performance? It comes down to a profound psychological defense mechanism known as emotional masking. And listen, this isn't just about putting on a brave face. It is the act of completely burying emotional pain behind a constructed, permanently happy persona just to gain societal acceptance. It's a survival tactic. But the intense danger here? If you wear the mask long enough, the fake personality actually locks onto your face. It stops being something you just do, and, terrifyingly, it starts replacing who you actually are.
Let's move on and see how this builds, because this deeply ingrained behavior absolutely does not appear overnight. It almost always begins in our formative years. For this man, he learned a brutal lesson really early on. His childhood sadness was just systematically ignored. Whenever he showed vulnerability, the adults in his life turned away. But when he forced a smile, when he played that happy version, he was instantly rewarded with love, attention, and praise. Slowly, methodically, just to survive emotionally, the fake personality became permanent. He learned his true feelings were a liability, and his fake joy was literally his only currency.
As the years dragged on, that physical habit completely calcified. The smile just stayed. It was permanently painted on his face during long meetings, dinner parties, even during quiet moments with his partner. But internally, the psychological reality was incredibly bleak. He felt absolutely nothing, completely numbed out. The real tragedy of faking your emotions for decades is that it doesn't just hide your sadness from other people, it numbs you to literally everything. Real happiness, genuine joy, authentic connection, it all just vanished. He built such a thick fortress to keep the pain hidden that the light of genuine human emotion couldn't even get in anymore.
And this leads directly to a systematic, brutal breakdown of identity. Think about it. Step 1. Real happiness completely fades away because your brain literally forgets the difference between authentic joy and a performance. Step 2. Success feels entirely empty. Trophies, wealth, status, none of it matters because the person receiving it is just an invented character. And then step 3, your core identity begins to glitch out. You look in the mirror and you just no longer recognize the emotional architecture of the person staring back at you. But you know what the truly terrifying aspect of this 20 years psychological vanishing act is? Why did almost no one around him ever realize it? Seriously, how can a human being walk through life for 2 entire decades, functionally empty inside, surrounded by friends and family, without a single person pulling the fire alarm? Well, to answer that, we have to pull the lens way back. And this brilliantly illustrates a really dark truth about the environment we navigate every single day. Just look at the stark divide in our modern world. Society explicitly rewards performance and fake positivity. We constantly applaud the hustle, the endless smiles, that toxic good vibes only culture. But on the flip side, society actively ignores and honestly sometimes even penalizes honesty, vulnerability, and genuine emotional pain. Our culture is practically designed from the ground up to be a factory for emotional masking. We don't notice the mask because, well, we're the ones demanding that people wear it.
So this one-man story, it's actually an invisible, massive epidemic. Right now, millions of people are quietly performing fake happiness. They're at school, forcing a smile just to fit in. They're at work, pretending to be totally energized because corporate culture demands relentless enthusiasm. They're online, curating these perfectly fake digital lives. And most devastatingly, they're doing it around their closest friends, laughing loudly while their eyes remain completely empty.
But here's the thing.
Humans are just not designed to be permanent actors. The psychological toll of maintaining two completely different realities, it's a debt that eventually comes due. Imagine the extreme muscular fatigue of holding a heavy weight at arm's length for 20 years. That sheer emotional exhaustion leads to a totally inevitable breaking point. For our man, it finally happened on a totally ordinary night. He was in a dark, silent room, and the energy to force his mouth into another fake smile simply vanished.
In that incredibly quiet, unseen moment, he finally stopped pretending. He just let the heavy, suffocating facade drop to the floor. Step 1. No fake smile. Just the calm, unfiltered resting face of a man who was completely drained. Step 2. No fake energy. He didn't force himself to be animated or upbeat. And Step 3. Absolutely no performance. The empty, dark stage of his mind was finally cleared of all its actors. The profound relief of simply existing. Without a script, it was overwhelming.
The deep irony of finally dropping the mask is that what's left behind is rarely pretty, but it is deeply necessary. In that dark room, without that exhausting armor, for the very first time in 20 years, he finally felt real. He felt sorrow. He felt crushing exhaustion. But those feelings, they were actually his own. They were authentic. And feeling genuine pain is a profoundly healthier baseline than feeling fake joy. It's the absolute prerequisite for any real emotional healing to begin. So, the crucial point is this devastating realization right here. The most dangerous type of loneliness is pretending to be happy around everyone. Really think about the weight of that for a second. Being surrounded by a crowded room of people who supposedly love you, yet feeling completely isolated because they only love a fictional character you invented. It is quite literally a psychological prison built entirely out of smiles. Listen, if you take away only one thing from today's explainer, let it be this powerful warning. If you perform too long just to appease society, to fit into your workplace, to make others comfortable, you will eventually forget who you truly are underneath that mask. The core identity you sacrificed to survive your childhood or climb the corporate ladder will just wither away in the dark. Protecting your authentic self, even if that authentic self is struggling, is the absolute most important psychological preservation you can ever practice. Which leaves us with a deeply uncomfortable question to ponder. If millions of people are participating in this invisible performance every single day, are the people smiling the most around you silently fighting the darkest battles? The next time you see someone whose positivity seems almost too perfect, just remember the dark psychology of the mask. Thank you for diving into this explainer with us. Keep questioning the reality beneath the surface.